There, you're now live.
Okay, all right. Welcome to the Brentwood Community Center Board meeting. On our agenda, actually, we just want to welcome Len. He's our newest board member. And Len, I can't quite see you over your house, but I'm waving at you. So thank you for joining us tonight, Len.
Okay.
Len's actually lived in Brentwood for how many years now, Len?
30
years. So a longtime resident as well. So it's good to have him on the board. We'll go to approval of agenda. Recommendation be resolved that the Brentwood Community Center Board hereby approve the agenda dated October 27th, 2021 as presented. Have a mover and seconder. Councillor Lamers and Melanie. And all in favor? And has raised his hand. Okay. All right. Disclosure, disqualifying interest in the nature thereof. Anyone have anything that they need to bring up? No. Okay.
Good.
Okay. Approval of the minutes, September 7th, 2021. Does anyone have any errors or omissions they want to change before we approve them? No? Okay. Recommendation be it resolved, the Brentwood Community Center Board hereby approve the meeting minutes dated September 7th, 2021 as presented. Mover and seconder. Melanie, I saw your hand up, and Councillor Lamers is seconder. Rental updates. So I have had some inquiries about rental updates. Of course, we're still in our COVID corner, I guess it is. We did have a health unit inspection today of the kitchen, so I'm not sure where we are standing on there. It wasn't that bad when it went down and cleaned it and everything else, but we had to have our policy in place as well as the different things all out for them, and everything looked pretty good when I left last night. So we'll see how that comes back. I'm sure, I think Amanda usually sends us a note, so I'll maybe reply to her and see if she can update me. Did everyone sort of see all the attachments that were attached with our agenda? We had the vaccine note from Terry Vachon, and that was just following up again with some of the protocols, as well as the original email that Amanda had sent. We also had the contact tracing and the forms that go with that we'll utilize whenever we do open up again. And of course, Amanda's note as well about capacity limits and the vaccine QR code again. It's just, I think what happens is so much information keeps coming out from the provincial government that it probably is hard for even staff to keep up with what is the next process or protocol. Is that right, Kayla? Is that how the conversations have gone, I guess, from the teacher side?
Absolutely. It changes basically minute to minute some days. So we get a lot of information and we try to push it out as soon as the newest information comes. And then sometimes, like today, you've got 4 or 5 attachments that you're reviewing, but that's been over the past month.
Right.
Since we last met. So yeah, you're absolutely right, Chris.
So actually, Kayla, these attachments, I mean, do we have to go through them all individually, or is it okay because we've already sort of probably read them ourselves and we just know there's a lot more processes for us to look forward to when we reopen? Or what is your...
Yeah, so when I put it into the minutes, I just mentioned that the board's received the communication. You mentioning it just kind of fortifies that.
Okay.
And then it is kind of up to you guys to continue to review it. I mean, I believe it was today or yesterday, Amanda sent more communication saying, hey, there's going to be more information coming. So it's an ongoing thing. So yeah, that's the process we've been following so far.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so I think that's the most important part, is that everything is going to continue to change, and we'll just have to keep updated. And I'm not sure what everyone's feelings are about reopening yet at this point, but one of us would have to be there for any rental to do contact tracing, or depending on the event, I guess it is, if it's a funeral, a wedding or anything, is contact tracing. Whereas if it's a buck and doe or a different kind of party, then you actually have to do the scanning for double vaccinations. So that entails a lot more work from our part as well as any risk for, I guess, any disgruntled renters concept, I guess. So we'll have to really think about that now. Is there any questions or comments maybe from you guys or thoughts? Melanie, I'll ask you first. Go ahead,
Go
John.
ahead.
Oh, I wasn't sure who's going now. Okay. Melanie, you go first, and then Johnny, and then Brent. Okay. Len, you go first, Len.
Okay, I'll go first. Does with the Ontario mandate of halls back up to 100%, or is the Brentwood hall at 100%, or are we at restricted numbers?
So we're still at a restricted number just at this point, but I think that's going to change probably as well. But right now we're at 40, 50% capacity.
Okay, what's the maximum in the hall at the Brentwood hall? 75, is it not?
88.
88?
So yeah, we just went half almost, so 40.
Okay.
Okay, Melanie, any questions on
Nope.
none? Okay.
None.
Councilor Lamers?
Yeah, we just have to keep reading these messages that Amanda and Terry keep sending out. And as long as we're staying closed, we just have to put them in the back of our mind. And
Yeah.
come January, when we're thinking about opening back up, review the newest ones.
And I know some have opened. Is that right, Kayla?
Yep, some are open. Some opened for specific rentals. So for example, Station on the Green, they opened almost as soon as they could for religious ceremonies. They have a church that rents their facility.
Right.
Others have opened it up to different courses, CPR, gun courses, things like that. But now they're starting to open a lot more, and we're seeing buck and doe rentals, Christmas party rentals. So things are starting to come in. And just to address Len's kind of inquiry there, that's exactly what's kind of coming down the line. So they've said out to everybody, hey, you're at full capacity again. Amanda's going through, dotting those I's, crossing those T's, and then we'll get the information as soon as the township has prepared something so that we have something to follow suit and kind of fall back on. So I suspect within the next couple of weeks, days even, you'll have communication from Amanda Murray again saying, hey, you can go at 100% and whatever the hall board chooses to do. Speaking to that, when we look at a hall board like Duntroon, they've actually devised a safety plan in which they've put a lot of the onus and contact tracing back onto the renter. And they've added it into a sort of sign-off sheet.
Yeah.
And so if that's something that this board is interested in doing as well, please reach out to Amanda Murray. It was created with her and the CAO and Terry Vachon as well.
Okay. All right. I mean, that would be the thing. I mean, I think because we do have some inquiries, the idea is that probably not to create a lot more work for individual hall board chair members or whatever, but just the idea that we could still really facilitate the need for a meeting room or meeting space.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's all I have for the rental updates at this point. Business arising from the previous minutes, board members. So of course, we did welcome Len at the beginning, but again, Len, thank you again for joining. And that gives us 5 board members. Actually, Janine just down the second line actually is another member. So there's 3 of us from Brentwood and 2 from New Lowell at this point. So we've got New Lowell outlawed anyways. We're in charge, right, Len?
John, you got to find somebody from here to join our board.
Yeah.
We don't even count Johnny because he's actually a member of council. He's just here as a representative. So Melanie, you're all by yourself from New Lowell.
Yay! I represent.
That you represent New Lowell, yeah.
Yep.
All right, so we have new business, the reopening communication, clarification, proof of vaccination. So that's a lot of those documents that we sort of chatted about already. And I think that's just there to make sure it's in our minutes and show that we did review them. 7.2, the COVID-19 update. As Kayla said, we will get constant updates probably going forward. And then hopefully one day we won't get any more updates about it. We'll just be out of that whole process. Any questions on 7.1 and 7.2?
Nope.
Nope. Okay. 7.3, the continuation of virtual meetings. So for the balance of the year, we will be meeting virtually. And just Len, so you know, you'll always get that clerk's message about a virtual meeting. In December, we actually are not having a meeting just because of staff changes and everything else. So we'll sort of go back to January. So if anything comes up, maybe in the next month, if we're going to reopen, let's say December, then we'll sort of make that decision at our next meeting and go from there. But otherwise, December will not have a meeting in turn. Okay.
Okay.
And
Go
then,
ahead, John.
so what was that?
John has a question.
No, we
Oh.
still have one in November before December.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I said we would sort of meet and decide if we want to open December, January concept. And we'll have that in place before our end of year concept. So 7.3 continuation of the, oh, sorry, 7. Oh yeah, this is the 7.3. 7.4 volunteer
Uh-huh.
evaluation policy. I got caught on my own. Gosh, that's because Melanie didn't tell me it was a 7.4.
So sorry.
Yeah, so that policy is actually attached as well as a PDF, and it's from the CEO, John Ferguson, and the senior management team, just discussing the policy that they have put in place, which does cover off all volunteers of committees of council. And I don't think there's an issue from our board anyways at this point, so. So any questions on the new business, or is there any other new business?
Who do the hall boards show their vaccinations to?
That would be HR as far as I think. Kayla, you might be able to say yes or no to that though.
Yep, so it's completely confidential. I don't see or want any of it. It gets sent right to Tammy Gill. Her contact information is in the memo. It's tgill@clearview.ca. If you have any questions, comments, concerns about the requirements, whether it's the proof of vaccination or the exemption, please speak with her. She is our resident expert in handling all of that.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. All right, any new business from anyone?
No.
Okay. I guess one question would be is if we were to reopen in November, December, and depending on if we look at creating the, I guess, the safety plan, as Kayla had mentioned about Dunturan's concept, or if we do it where one of us are there, how does everyone feel about that? Does anyone feel that that's sort of not what they want to do, or is it something they would consider doing depending on what our policy does mention? And
I think
ahead.
the contact tracing sheet for the renter itself should be an option.
Okay, yeah, that's what I mean. So if we look at getting that sort of revised from Duntruan and put it in place in Brentwood, would everybody prefer that than looking at where we have to have the onus on us and be there the whole time during that rental? That's what I wanted to sort of find out from you.
Oh no, put the onus on the renter.
Okay,
Oh, yeah.
okay. Councilor Lamers, any?
Hello.
Kayla, with Dunedin, do they still have to have one volunteer at the hall
Duntroon, you mean?
for Duntruan?
No,
No.
no.
So
So
when-
they've actually created a basically like a checklist for the renter to kind of inform them of what their responsibilities are and to ensure that they follow that protocol.
Yeah.
So nobody from the hall board has to be there.
No, not necessarily.
Right.
If there's a way of getting around it, if you want to open up for some Christmas events.
Yeah.
If we have enough interest.
Yep. I think putting the onus on the renter makes sense. It's no different than we do for liability side. So to me, I think, if someone's having a private family party, that onus is on them and they're going to go through it. I mean, a lot of things are like that now. And I think we should certainly rely on that aspect,
Mhm.
right?
Yep.
Okay. So maybe what I'll do is I'll reach out to them sorry, go ahead, Lynn.
The renters are responsible for everything else on that, like their liquor license or anything as well, right? So
Correct. Yep. So yeah, it makes sense to sort of do that same aspect. So I'll reach out to them this week and see if we can get a copy of what they have and see if we need to revise it or utilize it the same. And then I'll come back to the board.
So if you want, Chris, you can actually reach out directly to Amanda Murray.
We have some feedback there somewhere. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I've muted Melanie. Sorry, Melanie, you're now muted. That's the power I have, and I wield it freely. Anywho, yeah, if you want to speak to Amanda Murray, she collects them and helps the boards to create them so that we know that we're getting a sound plan.
Okay. Yeah, because I mean, the safety plan that I put in place the other day for the Brentwood Hall right now, because that's what they needed for the inspection, is just a basic one from the Ontario government. And you go in, you fill out the questions, and then it just prints out that safety plan. So it was very generic, but definitely this sounds like a better idea, putting the onus on the renters. So if we do get it, how does everyone feel if we do get it and we actually change it? Is it something that you want to just go ahead and begin renting in that aspect? Or do you want to come back to the board at the end of November first before we actually move forward on renting?
With the rentals inquiries that you have been getting, is the November 24th meeting too late to confirm some of them?
That's what I'm thinking, because I think the one was like December 10th and they're going to want to know ahead of time if they can do it.
Yeah.
Whereas if I sort of do this and I could always send it out to the board members just to see what it says and everything. But if it's sort of just a generic and it really doesn't involve any time from any one of the members, then to me, it might be advantageous just to go ahead, put that in place if the board so feels. And then we just move ahead with opening up the hall to that perspective. And I think in one of Terry's letters, actually, he talks about, we have to deal with each renter one-on-one, no matter what, just to find out what it is, what they're doing, how many people they're planning on having, just so we have a better understanding of what is happening. And then we move forward and say, yes, you can do it. And here's the onus is going to be on you. This is what you have to collect. This is what you have to provide proof of, and blah, blah, blah. And to me, I think that'd be an easy piece. So if everyone's okay with it, I'll go ahead and look at that plan and then just report back, but put it in place and go ahead and open the rental opportunity. Go ahead, Len.
is it an application process for when you're possibly renting? Like, do you have to fill out an application to state your business, what you're doing, how many people you're going to have, if is a liquor license, whatever? Is that how they do it, or is it just by mouth?
No, actually, they can fill out an application, everything online. It's on Facebook, actually. But I know I've had two people that they can't go in and do anything right now because it's locked. So we're not allowing any bookings concept. So that's why I'm thinking maybe if we go ahead and move forward with the plan, and then once that plan's sort of approved by Amanda, then definitely we could just go ahead and unlock it, and then people can book, they can call, they can do whatever they wish, and we'll work through that process with each of them individually.
As long as the safety protocol
Correct.
is updated for
Right.
each renter.
Yeah, especially if it changes next week again, then we would have to change it automatically. And I think Amanda's pretty in tune on everyone's safety protocols, and she would know that aspect of which maybe needs one tweak or whichever. Does that sound okay, Kayla, from your point?
Yeah, so that's what most hall boards are doing right now, and I do have a proposed resolution if you want to hear that.
Sure.
So the proposed resolution is be it resolved that the Brentwood Hall Board hereby reopen the hall for rentals beginning November 1st, 2021, with a safety plan created in conjunction with the Recreation Department. I'm going to tweak it a little bit with a safety plan and rental agreement created in conjunction.
Okay. Yeah.
November 1st might be too soon.
Well, it
Well, that's
wouldn't,
just Monday. It's just kind of given a date so that I don't know when your first rentals have been inquiring for.
and the idea with Johnny is we wouldn't open anything up until we actually have that safety plan in place and Amanda has okayed it. So realistically, we wouldn't turn nothing on. If it was November 15th, nothing would go in place until November 15th.
Okay.
I think Kayla's just trying to put a date to it to give it a date and then, but it still says until the safety plan's approved.
Yep, you can pick any date that you want, but basically there's caveats involved in that resolution. So nothing can move forward without that safety plan and rental agreement being in place.
Right. So does everyone, any comments or questions about that resolution?
No, sounds fine.
Okay, Len, any question, comment? Okay,
No, all good.
all right, so I'll call for a mover and a seconder. All right, Melanie. And Len, did I see your hand go up? I did. All right. Is that good for that one, Kayla?
Yep, just you're all in favor.
Oh, yeah, sorry, all in favor?
I feel like you've been at the chambers a little too long.
Yeah.
All right. Any other new business? None? Okay. All right, we'll move on to, oh, go ahead. Yes,
Have
Len.
they arranged for snow removal for the winter yet, or is that done by the township?
It's done by the township.
Okay.
And I'm sure it's probably the same company that did it last year. Yeah, go ahead, Len, or Johnny.
We had to have somebody shoveling the steps off last year ourselves. The contract didn't have that.
No, that was probably me. Yes. Yes, it was me, Johnny. And no one made tea or cookies for me either in there. So I imagine it would just be me again.
So you're not gonna try to tender that.
You come down to Mexico, Chris, and I'll make you tea and cookies.
Yeah, that's right. I think we'll have to get heated sidewalks whenever we build a new building or something or add on. Next meeting, November 24th, 2021, 7 p.m. Is that good with everyone? I think,
Yeah.
yeah, okay. We pretty well meet the end of the month, Len, just so you know. And
Okay.
so that's always on the agenda of the meeting we're in. And so it tells you, so you can put it in your calendar. And then Kayla does send a notice out about a week prior. And then she always sends one the same day. I think you send one today, or was it yesterday, Kayla?
It'd be today, an hour before the meeting.
That's what it was. Okay. So, and not that you may check your email all the time, like some of us, but
You always get a reminder an hour before.
yeah. All right. I'm going to call for adjournment. So recommendation be resolved. The Brentwood Community Center Board meeting be adjourned at, oh, good Lord.
Chris is freezing up.
Mover and seconder. Oh, Len, no. Len, there he is. I saw it. I thought there it is.
Yeah.
All in favor? There we go. We almost need like council where they